Smith stood on a small mound of gray dirt, leaning on his shovel. His eyes were bloodshot with exhaustion and despair. His son sat a few yards away, knees bent, bald head hung down. Abe was nearly 16, but in that moment, Smith saw him as the young boy who had been afraid of the dark. A cool wind blew Smith's long gray hair into his sweat-soaked face as he drew deep breaths. The helmet of his survival suit lay on its side at his feet. The clear glass cracked. Thankfully, the air was breathable, so now he only wore his issued suit, crimson red with black side stripes, to keep him warm. Something in the air of this new world irritated his skin, and he kept scratching at the speckled scruff that covered his face. This new planet, Athera, his new hell. He looked around at what had been accomplished in the last few hours. 15 shiny colony domes sat in a perfect row, fresh from their vacuum-sealed packaging. The purified white of the structures shone even brighter against the bland landscape. 14 of them were exactly 15 feet across. The last was twice that size, and had been meant for the captain and her family. Now it was being used as a triage for the injured. Smith watched as 2 men carried a woman through its doors. Even from that distance, he could tell she'd lost a leg. To the east of the domes in the distance, a range of mountains stretched north and south as far as he could see. The base of the mountains were ashen, just like the dirt he dug in. It slowly changed to a dusty red as the elevation increased, and the top of each was white with snow. They pierced into gray-orange sky that Smith would have found beautiful under different circumstances, but that night it felt ominous, as if it would simply cave in at any moment. And if it had, he wasn't sure he'd mind all that much. They had planned to land on the other side of the mountains, where the treetops reached to the sky and the roots weaved strongly into moist, healthy soil. But they had ended up in the dark, dusty emptiness that surrounded him. With no rover or ground transports in working order, they had decided to set up where they were. South of where he stood, the desert went on and on. To the north, past the horizon, was a vast ocean that covered over half of the planet. Based on the pictures the drones had sent back, the largest animals on the planet lived in those waters. Cascading clear green water, estimated to reach depths of over 10,000 feet. Shadows appeared just below the surface. Long, oval-shaped creatures that sped through the water at blistering speeds. Smith had been most excited to see the ocean. He'd never had the chance to see it on Earth. But now he wondered whether he would survive long enough to see it. Whether any of them would. Across the ocean, 2 continents. One covered in sand and natural stone pillars. The other, a massive tangle of overgrown plants. A few hundred yards past the domes to the west lay the bent, smoldering husks of their ship. Something had gone wrong when they entered the atmosphere. All Smith knew was that he had seen flames, heard explosions, and awoke covered in burns, cuts, and dirt. He helped the others salvage who and what they could. 121 survivors. 15 colony domes, some clothing, enough foodstuffs to last 121 people about 2 months. 2 crates of tools, and 1 crate of weapons. Between Smith and the mangled metal were at least 20 other survivors, all digging for the same reason Smith was. All burying their loved ones. Smith burying his wife. Evelie. Gone. Sylvia, Evelie's sister, silently walked up and sat by Abe. With a gut-wrenching cough, Smith turned back to his mound and shovel.